I need you to transfer me the $3,000 today to prove that you want me to be here and to prove that you're going to step up. Right now.
엄마, 그 돈 줘. 300만 원.
They call me honest! They call me idol! What's up, dudes? Welcome back to the #1 YouTube channel in the entire world. Today's a very special video because we're going to be talking about my favorite member of BTS, Jihoon, and the baby mama that he knocked up, Deavan. For those of you that don't know Jihoon, he's the best story that was never told. He was actually in the group BTS until he got replaced by his better-looking counterpart, Jimin. But let me tell you something, Jihoon was a star. The man could dance, the man could sing like nobody else. The only problem was his pull-out game was weak. Yo, your pull-out game's weak, Jihoon! Recently, there have been many articles posted saying that Deavan and Jihoon actually ended their marriage, and their marriage is over. Do I believe it? Yes, I do, and I'm going to provide more information on that stuff throughout this series we're making on Deavan and Jihoon, and we're going to dive balls deep into their relationship and find out all of their hidden secrets. Mwahahaha! Sorry, I've been drinking a lot of soda. Quick question, do you like puzzles? Do you like video games? Well then you're gonna love the sponsor of today's video because it's Blockudoku. This game is just a speedy trip to the App Store and it's free to download, my dudes. I for one am addicted and the game feels to me like a drastically improved version of Tetris. I don't know if you guys have heard the good news, but Blockudoku events have recently landed. You can use new blocks you haven't seen before, take part in block quizzes, solve puzzles, and even get unique medals. Meet tournaments, join the community, compete with other players, and win unique trophies. And be careful if you see Yourwetsock in tournament mode because I am a competitor and much like Cobra Kai, I will show no mercy. I don't know about you guys, but I love playing mobile games before I go to bed. It really helps me relax. I can't play console games or PC games because I get too into it and then I end up not sleeping because I'll be constantly thinking about the game. But something relaxing that also trains my brain is really nice to take the edge off before I go to bed, so Blockudoku is perfect for me. I like to think of it as a relaxing way to clear my mind, but also train my brain at the same time. So if you guys are interested in trying out the game for yourself, click the link down in my description box and download Blockudoku for free. And after you guys download the game, let me know your high score because mine is 563, and if you can beat that score, my young Padawans, you are on the way to becoming a Jedi Master yourself. Okay, back to the video. These TV personalities aren't gonna roast themselves. So for context's sake, Jihoon was born and raised in South Korea, and Deavan was born and raised in Utah. They met because Jihoon watched a movie and Tinder was in the movie. You know, that dating app. So he was like,
I have an idea.
oh my god, I should make a Tinder myself. So while scrolling, Jihoon came across Deavan's profile and they immediately had a connection. He fancied her right away. So what do you know? They filled out an application. They sent it to TLC, his 9-day fiance. He ended up going there to see her. Next thing you know, they had unprotected sex and she got pregnant with this kid.
Who would have thought? Not me.
Maybe I'm weird because I have a brain, but you think if you're a single mother living in Utah, you would be like, hey, maybe you should rub her up, or maybe you should use protection because we're gonna have unprotected sex. But hey, that's just me. What's the point of even taking those sex ed classes and learning about safe sex and all this stuff if no one listens to it? If you're a single mother, you should put your kid first and think of finding a suitable partner that'll take care of you and your child, not just slamming somebody and not having them wear a condom or having unprotected sex.
I've got buckets of chicken. You want to do it?
Okay.
I feel like you should think about that stuff because now you just got yourself knocked up by a dude you barely know that you got to know for a couple days and you've been chatting with on Tinder. That's kind of irresponsible. But hey, this is the same person that named her daughter Dracula. I mean Drusilla. But honestly, the names are so close together. And I love when parents do this and name their kid some kind of dumbass name. And then they're surprised in high school when they get made fun of for their name. And there's that one piece of shit kid in the back of class like, hey, yo, Dracula, I know you suck blood, but you suck dick. Right? Right? Got her, dude. Fucking got her. Let's look at Deavan and Jihoon's kids' names really quick because I find this kind of comical. Okay, so I'm not even bullshitting. These are their kids' names. So their daughter's name is Drusilla, and then the new baby's name is Tai Yang. Sounds like Mortal Kombat characters. GG. But it's all good. I'm actually naming my first kid Vladimir Ichigo Kurosaki, so... You're ready to get bullied in high school, motherfucker! Dude, you gotta toughen up these kids at a young age, you know? When Deavan and Jihoon met, they had unprotected sex, which resulted in Deavan getting knocked up. So what have we learned today, class? If your pullout game is weak, rub her up. Your pullout game's weak, Jihoon. Stop spending all your money on karaoke and Korean barbecue with the boys. Well, I guess there it's just called barbecue. But the point is, you gotta stop, man. You gotta provide for your family. You got little baby Tai Yang, and you got this other girl, Drusilla, coming, and your wife, Deavan. You got a whole family in America coming over, and you gotta provide for them, man. Little baby Dracula's gotta eat, dog. Also, right now I'd like to clarify that Jihoon is around 31 years old and Deavan is around 24 years old. I just like to know people's ages. I don't want to pull a Crystalia. Hey, any of you girls 18 yet? I'm just kidding, come on. No, but seriously, everyone's talking about Crystalia like he's dead, bro. Okay, that's enough chatty Cathy. Let's see what happens when Deavan ends up flying over to live with Jihoon in South Korea. She's actually living my dreams. I mean, bimbop bowls, that good Korean food. Oh man, BTS posters everywhere. You don't know how famous they are. I've been there with my fiance, and dude, BTS is everywhere you look.
It's gonna help us talk to Jihoon and his parents. You talk into it and then it will talk back in Korean.
Oh, so it'll be fun like bad text messages where it's all garbledy?
Yeah.
So right now, Deavan and her mom talk about the translator that's going to translate Korean to English. Now, this is foreshadowing because this translator is going to cause some issues later on in the show. So right now, Deavan is in the airport about to go to South Korea, and she turns to the camera and says, I've been giving so much up. I've given so much up to just move from the United States, leave behind everything I have here in Utah, and go to South Korea. I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, she was a single mother before she even met Jihoon, and she lived with her parents before she even met Jihoon. So if anything, this whole production going on 90 Day Fiance is a way for you to actually make money via social media. So I don't think you're giving up that much. I think this is more of an opportunity for you.
So where are you guys headed to?
Korea?
Did you have a return trip?
No, I have a return.
She does.
I do.
So Deavan keeps talking about the fact that she hopes Jihoon is actually ready to support our family and take care of us and everything. The problem with Jihoon, he seems like a nice guy, but he's very immature and he's not ready to support a family. And there's definitely a miscommunication between them because she'll be like, hey Jihoon, are you ready to support us? And he'll be like, yeah, it's no worries. Meanwhile, Jihoon still lives with his parents. He has Peter Pan syndrome, and he's like, I never want to grow up. I never want responsibility. And he still doesn't have like a stable income, so he can't even really take care of himself when he's 31. He's not in the financial and mental position to be mature enough to take care of a family too. All I'm saying is, if I was a condom company, they would be the perfect advertisement. Their entire segment is an advertisement to not get knocked up on the first date. I honestly wish I was in Jihoon's boys group chat because I feel like that whole conversation when he first came out to see Deavan was probably like, yo dude, I'm real excited, I'm gonna go pipe this girl in America. Next thing you know, pipes her, flies back to Korea, gets a text message, I'm pregnant. Oh no! Nani? Oh my god. So right now, Jihoon is talking to his friends about what's going to happen. Deavan and the kids are coming over to live with him, and his friends give him some really good advice, and in the meantime, they enjoy some Korean barbecue. I'm not going to lie, I'm in Eastern Europe right now, so I'm craving Korean barbecue. I can't find any restaurants that are Korean barbecue here.
To Korea tomorrow. I feel very nervous. Deavan's gave me last chance. If I not prepare for everything, she'll leave. But I'm not give up our relationship.
Also, just want to throw this out there. Jihoon does not represent the norm for South Korean men. South Korean men work really hard and they're a very rich country. So he's a bum by South Korean standards and he's a bum by American standards.
대분 있잖아, 대분. 내 와이프. 곧 올 거야. 이제 애기들 다 데리고 올 거야. 드라실라하고 태양이.
그럼 대본 오면 어디서 살고?
So he says he's going to take this very seriously, but he's hanging out with his friends, and there's nothing wrong with getting a last hoorah with the bros before your wife and your kids come, and then you have to actually like take care of them and everything. But I feel like as long as you have everything ready for them to come, you can party before they come with your friends and everything. There's no problem there. I just hope he doesn't drink too much because it's not a good look to be hungover when you're greeting your wife and your kids and your wife is like speculating that you're not a good provider. It's a bad look to be a little hungover for that meeting. So Jihoon tells his friends that the house they found, Deavan actually paid for the first month's rent. He didn't, and his friend's response is, wow, she's a really nice woman. She's a good woman for that. She actually paid for the first month's rent and she found the house online, so he's done none of the work and she's raising the kids and he can't even take care of the financial aspect of the relationship. So right away, he just seems like dead weight and that's the impression I'm getting. I'm sure that's the impression everyone's getting right now. His friend's response is, wow, she's amazing. No, your friend Jihoon is just a bum.
4명 다 키울 수 있어?
배달하고 있잖아. 만약에 아침, 오후하고 야간하고 새벽 거의 안 쉬고 하면 한 3, 400 나오지. 그러니까
그래서
부족하다. 이런 식.
I need money.
I'll be honest, I don't know how expensive South Korea is, but from when I visited there, it was expensive when I visited. I don't know how it is now. I don't know if like costs are reduced now because of the coronavirus and everything.
굉장히 오버해서 그 대본한테 말했죠. 직업이라고 하는 건 없고요. 그냥 아르바이트로 그 배달 알바를 하면서 하는데 그게 이제 시간 파트타임 잡인데 파트타임 잡.
So I feel like Jihoon's setting himself up for failure. He doesn't have a stable job or stable income, and he exaggerated to his wife that he does and hasn't told her that he's doing deliveries and he doesn't have a stable job. And she's already flying and bringing the kids over to live with you and make this work. And he's not financially prepared, so this entire thing is going to be a shitstorm.
I like to Deavan because if I have no money, Deavan's not come to Korea.
Yeah, obviously she's not going to because she's a mother and you have to think of the kids first, bro. Like, don't be selfish and put yourself first and be like, I want to see my wife. I want a pipe. I think that's where his mindset's at, where it's like, hey, Peter Pan, you know, it's time to grow up. You have mouths to feed now. If you're going to take responsibility, you can't just lie to your wife or not tell her and withhold information that you don't have a stable income. She's going to come over and then the cost of living is going to be too high, and then she's going to have to go back. Like, I don't know what the point is of this. She doesn't speak Korean. I guarantee if she tries to get a job in Korea, it's going to be really hard to do. And at the time they're filming this, you guys aren't that famous. You're not making that much money off of social media yet. Now, at the same time, they've already been on 9 Day Fiance, so maybe Devan's earning money already via social media, but I don't know if it's enough to justify living in South Korea because the cost of living is really high, and she doesn't speak the language, and she's going to feel really isolated if Jihoon has to pick up the slack and work long hours because he doesn't have a stable job. And she's just going to be at home in a foreign country just taking care of the kids and trying to make videos and trying to seem happy on camera when she's probably not. So I don't know about this situation. The situation doesn't seem that desirable for anybody. Also, I don't think it helps that Deavan looks sad all the time. Like, she reminds me of that girl from the Addams Family. I feel like they look exactly the same. I haven't seen her on one part of the show crack a smile or seem happy or seem like anybody I would kick it and have a beer with. She just constantly seems super depressed and super monotone like this. Like, hey, and super tired, bro. I don't know if she gets sleep ever. I know there's gonna be those people that are like, you try being a parent and see if you'll get sleep. Well, guys, my pull-out game's strong as fuck. She's obviously tired, Nick. She's a mother. Well, then don't have fucking kids, guys. Make your dude pull out and rub her up. And maybe you shouldn't fucking get knocked up on the first date. I don't know.
근데 만약에 이렇게 집 다시 안 구해지면 대부분 만약 미국으로 다시 또 돌아가면 어떡해?
아, 스트레스인데 너희하고 또 이런 얘기하면 더 스트레스 받는다.
Okay, so Jihoon's friends at the end say, this is crazy. I'm so embarrassed of him. I can't believe he did this. Why would he do this? He doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy that can work 2 jobs. Which means basically he doesn't have the grit. He's not a hardworking dude. He just kind of like cruises through life. Jihoon seems like the kind of guy that overcomplicates simple tasks. And he seems like the kind of person to where he'll do things that aren't necessary or work really hard at dumb things that he doesn't need to do. But for his main priorities, they stress him out so he doesn't do them, if that makes sense. Like, hey Jihoon, you can't just keep putting off life, especially when you have to take care of a family. At some point, you have to grow a sack of balls and be a man, dude, and be a provider and provide for your family that you started because you didn't rub her up and your pull-out game was weak as fuck. So you did this to yourself. You can't make excuses. You have to take responsibility. Or you can just fucking dip out and not take responsibility and be like, all right, well, you're in America. I'm in South Korea. Here's money for the kid, fuck off. It's a shitty move to do, and it's like not a real man will do that. But at the same time, I'd rather see somebody do that than be this in between, hey, come over, oh, I'm not ready to have you, but come on over, and just be like moping and stagnant through life. It's just like, dude, that's so much more exhausting than if you were just not in Devan's life at all. I feel like you have to like pick one. Real quick, since I'm making a 3-part series on this couple, I'm gonna be jumping around timelines and it's about to be blotchier than the Marvel universe. So just know at the end of the journey, everything will come full circle and make perfect sense. Right now, let's look at the most recent episode of Deavan and Jihoon, an episode where Deavan cooks with Jihoon's mother and actually makes every chef in the world mad. So Deavan starts off by saying, I feel like Jihoon's mother only tolerates me because I'm the mother of her grandson and doesn't actually like me. Well, welcome to every mother-in-law. Yeah, we get the same feeling, Deavan, but maybe if you didn't complain so much and weren't the most depressing person in the world, cracked a smile every now and then, maybe she would like you more. So right now in the kitchen, Jihoon's mom takes the initiative and says, make sure you slice the carrots as thin as possible, and is actually demonstrating how to do it so Deavan knows how to do it.
I'm so used to buying everything already chopped up.
So after demonstrating, Deavan takes over and can't even slice the carrot. She's actually struggling and says, I'm so used to buying everything chopped up. Yeah, listen, we know you're used to Kraft mac and cheese or whatever the fuck you cook at home. You know, this is your moment to really show that you can learn, and it's not that hard to slice carrots. I'll be honest. I'm a novice in the kitchen because my whole family's Italian. I know I don't look it, but my Italian mother did not let me in the kitchen because she said, you are a terrible chef. I get that, but I can slice thin carrots.
No good.
So Jihoon's mom notices that Deavan can't slice thin carrots for some ungodly reason, so she takes over and says, no, thinly like this, and tries to show her again.
Okay.
So then Deavan has a woe is me moment and says, cooking with Jihoon's mom is difficult because she's already treating me like a dimwit. No, you are a dimwit. You can't even slice carrots thinly. She's not treating you like a dimwit. If anything, she's smiling and laughing about it. I'm like, no, and trying to teach you how to do it. I feel like Deavan is so used to playing the victim and pulling out the victim card and the woe is me that she's just like depressing and always being the victim on the show. That's just from what I gather as a viewer. She's just always like, woe is me. It's like you're already there, you might as well make the most out of it, and she just seems like the opposite of a really positive person. So then this is the part that drove everybody, including me, insane. Deavan says to the translator, usually cutting doesn't matter, shape doesn't matter because it all tastes the same. The translator says it usually tastes the same, so cutting doesn't matter, and then Jihoon's mom starts hysterically laughing. Hey Deavan, you uncultured swine, slicing carrots and the thickness of the slices of the carrots does matter because it actually impacts and changes the dish. If you put in the thick slices that you cut that look like it was cut by a savage, it will actually change how long you have to cook the dish for so that the carrots are melty and good and not crunchy carrots. It changes the amount of time you would need to cook the dish and could ruin the consistency or could lead the dish to being burnt. In my humble opinion, Gordon Ramsay would call this girl an idiot sandwich. And all food doesn't taste the same, bruh. Maybe to you, Deavan, because you're a boring eater with an inferior palate that probably doesn't have a good appreciation of the culinary world like us foodies that live to eat, don't eat to live. Some could argue what you said is a hate crime, and if you said this to my family, my Italian side of the family, they would call you a dumb bitch. So they would actually handle it way worse than Jihoon's mom is handling it. Jihoon's mom goes on to say that she's bad at this, and I agree. I find it weird that Deavan's never cut produce before. You never cut vegetables before? You never chopped up vegetables? Ever? I mean, I don't trust cut vegetables because I feel like usually they're pretty bland and all the flavors got, like you buy cut vegetables. Then we get to see the continuation of the translator doing Deavan dirty, which it constantly does. It constantly just translates wrong.
What is expected out of a Korean daughter-in-law?
한국인 며느리에게서 예상되는 것.
크게 바라지는 않고.
Without much hope.
Oh.
Oh wow, that's the first time I've seen her smile on the show, but it's not like a happy smile, it's like a, oh wow, you just said that. That's a translator's fault, bro. Maybe if you spoke Korean, you wouldn't have this issue. I feel like you should learn Korean if you move to South Korea and your baby daddy and his family are South Korean. I feel like you should learn Korean. If I'm learning Bulgarian, you can learn Korean. I know the American education system does do a great job of teaching us other languages, but now that you know all this information, like it's so easy to learn another language these days because you got like Duolingo, you got all these apps on your phone, even like memorizing a couple words a day is so possible, and I hate that she's so reliant on this translator because it keeps translating everything wrong and just causing more drama in her life.
100일 잔치 때 많은 손님들이 오시니까
Many guests come for the 100 days.
인사만 해주면 고맙겠어.
I'd appreciate it if you only say hello.
Okay?
So the mom says, I only expect you to say hello to all the guests that are coming in. You only need to say hello. And she takes that as only say hello, not talk. Yeah, dude, because nothing's more awkward than speaking in a translator app and then sucking all the air out of the room. Everyone's going to be speaking Korean and you're just going to be awkwardly like trying to talk to everyone with their translator app. It's going to translate things wrong. Everyone's going to be confused. Is this a real translator? Like, where did she get this translator? Was it given by the show? I like to imagine it's somebody sitting at TLC with a little Xbox headset and they're like, yeah, I'm going to translate this shit wrong on purpose and cause more drama for the show. Okay.
I'm very anxious about meeting Jihoon's family.
When I went to South Korea, I didn't see a lot of foreigners. I don't think their economy is heavily influenced by travel. And if I have any subscribers that are South Korean, let me know. But I feel like with anybody that speaks another language, if you're coming to their country, as long as you're trying to learn their language, they'll try to level with you and that'll improve their opinion of you because you're like, okay, they're trying to learn my language and understand my culture. That's so cool. And to see someone try is so cool. But to see someone whip out a translator is just kind of a puss move. I feel like you should know some simple sentences to talk to his family. There's going to be a lot of people coming to this house. You're going to have to greet a lot of people. It would even be cool to just say, hey, what's up? I'm Deavan. So nice to meet you. Like, you can't learn a simple phrase like that. That's crazy to me. Zdravейте, как си, аз съм Nick. Just know like 10 different phrases and you're good. It could be simple sentences like nice weather we're having. I mean, at least it's something. So throughout their segment, Jihoon has been very naughty boy Jihoon. He got an apartment that was too small for Deavan's standards when she moved to Korea and she was very outraged that the place was so small. It wasn't as small as the place me and B lived in New York, but you know, New York, very small apartments, very expensive place to live. So I feel like she still could have compromised and made it work, but I feel like Deavan is just super negative, and no matter what Jihoon does, I don't think it's ever going to measure up to her standards, and she's always going to be like depressed and, oh, this is the worst. It's no secret that as much as we don't want it to, money does play a huge part in our lives and in our relationships. Now let's look at that magic moment when Deavan demands $3,000 from Jihoon to prove that he actually cares about her. Sorry, I had a burp the entire time I was saying that. Oh my god, wait. I sucked it back up. It's probably going to be a fart later.
근데 I'll change.
I need you to transfer me the $3,000 today to prove that you want me to be here and to prove that you're going to step up. I need to see that you have it.
Okay, I will.
Right now.
So Deavan goes on to say it's not about the money, it's about knowing that he's not lying. Well, that's cool, but like the $3,000 is also dope though. This couple is the best condom commercial ever. I wish I had a condom sponsorship. Hey yo Trojan, throw me a sponsorship for part 2 of reviewing this couple. Let's just do it, dude. Let's get weird. Safe sex is dope.
엄마, 그 돈 줘. 300만 원.
So then Jihoon, like the self-financed businessman he is, goes upstairs to ask his mom for her credit card because he needs to go to the ATM right now and withdraw some cash for his baby mama. You know, not the best look, Jihoon. We really weren't expecting you to be an entrepreneurial, but dude, I haven't seen someone so panicked to get their mom's credit card since I was buying Halo 3 all those years ago. I'll tell you what, that is crazy that this guy is 31 years old and he's like, Mom, hey, I need your credit card right now or else my baby mama's gonna go back to the US. I love how Jihoon's like, I have to prove that I can take care of her by paying her $3,000 from my mom's credit card.
애기 좀 보고 있어요. 에?
This situation, very embarrassing. ATM 가자고 ATM.
Yeah, it is really embarrassing to do this when you're 31, to actually drag your mom with you to walk to an ATM, to get money to then give it to your baby mama because you can't financially take care of her and you told her and communicated that you would financially support her. You had a stable income job. Like, I just can't with this dude. I feel like that's so crazy to me that he wasn't prepared for them to come. Last night he's celebrating with his bros with Korean barbecue. He has them fly their asses over. He says he's gonna like take care of this family that he started because his pullout game's weak. And you know what? Deavan is kind of at fault too, man. I know she plays the victim every turn she can get. Deavan was already a single mother when she had unprotected sex with Jihoon, which resulted in her getting pregnant with another kid with this dude she barely knows, and they've only ever had like Skype sessions or talked on social media, talked on Tinder. They're both really irresponsible, and you know what's weird about this couple? I haven't seen one moment of them get romantic with each other the entire series. Have you guys? Please let me know if you've seen them at any point in the show, in this series, be a cute couple. Or look at each other with googly eyes and you would walk by them and be like, wow, that looks like a couple. This couple doesn't seem like a real couple as much as roommates that ended up having sex and have to raise kids together now. So Jihoon even admits that he has no savings and he spent all his money on going out with his friends. So Jihoon says, as a man, I'm embarrassed, and then looks down and looks all sad. And to him, I just want to say, Jihoon, there's a difference between being embarrassed and growing the fuck up. Dude, you're 31. And then Jihoon's mom laughs at the ATM and says this feels like kids play, and she also questions if Deavan even loves her son, really. For this, I've seen a lot of different opinions. I do think that Jihoon doesn't communicate the fact that he's lied to Deavan the entire time to his parents, and because of the language barrier, they can't really communicate to Deavan properly. And Deavan can't properly communicate her side of the story because there's three sides to every story. There's Jihoon's, there's Deavan's, and there's the truth. Now, they're both irresponsible, but I do think that no matter what, usually a mother is going to always side with her children, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with. I think that the parents also played their part in making Jihoon like this. At some point, he needs to accept responsibility for his own lack of motivation and his own laziness, but I do think that the parents do play a role in how their kids come out.
돈 거기다 1억 갖다 주면은 진실을 알까요?
I think the mother has this misconceived notion that Deavan is creating a narrative where Jihoon has to buy her love. It's not the case. Your son promised her a certain thing, like promised her financial stability and promised her all these things, which is why she moved the kids and herself over to South Korea. And he actually lied. So she paid for the first month's rent in a country that she's never been to, and she moved to this country to live with your son. And your son lied and made this whole thing a shitstorm when instead he should have just been honest about the fact that he doesn't have the money to support her or the kids. All in all, I think Jihoon is a lost boy from Neverland that usually hangs out with Peter Pan. And I think Deavan is a very depressing girl that looks just like the girl from the Addams Family. I think they both shouldn't be together. They don't seem like they ever get romantic. On a bright note, they are the best commercial ever for having safe sex. And don't worry guys, because I'm going to be making a lot of update videos on this couple. So stay tuned because we're going to be uploading more videos on them. Comment below, subscribe. Let's subscribe. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.